Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. High five standouts from opening weekend. 3 full practices and multiple walkthroughs have concluded in a busy first 4 for the Cowboys on the West Coast. Mike McCarthy made sure to test the young roster early, scheduling 4 morning practice days in a row, before the first real day of rest Monday, giving ample opportunity for some players to make early strides. While the pads aren't on quite yet, it's still possible to see who is beginning the long month in Oxnard on the right foot. These are 5 standouts from the first weekend of training camp 2024. 5. Tyler Guyton. It's not often that an offensive lineman stands out so early in camp, especially without the pads on. Usually that level of dominance is reserved for guys like Zach Martin and Tyler Smith. However, it was the rookie that turned heads with his early snaps. Guyton began the week as the backup left tackle behind Chuma Edoga, but was given all the first-team reps on Sunday. In that practice, he put together good rep after good rep against talents like Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Marshawn Kneeland. 4. Eric Kendricks. Similarly to the offensive line position, linebackers can't truly show their physicality without pads on. That didn't stop Kendricks from making the correct reads, stepping up to make a tackle and dropping back in coverage. His first practices as a Cowboy look like he's been a part of the defensive unit for a decade, which is precisely the reason Mike Zimmer brought him in. He capped off his strong weekend with an interception of Dak during Sunday's practice. 3. Tyron Billy Johnson. Every year, there's an under-the-radar wide receiver who steals the show with high-flying grabs and impressive athleticism. Players like Dennis Houston, T.J. Vasher, and others have jumped off the page in training camps of the past. This time, it has been Tyron Billy Johnson at every level of the defense, taking advantage of the extra reps. The challenge now becomes finding the consistency necessary to earn a roster spot. 2. Micah Parsons. This is self-explanatory, he's Micah Parsons. Since he stepped on the field as a rookie in 2021, he's disrupted the backfield and kept quarterbacks guessing. The same can be said this year as he tallied pressures and challenged the offensive tackles like usual. Then, if that wasn't enough, Mike Zimmer has moved him back and forth off the line of scrimmage, puzzling the offense even further. 1. Darren Bland. All weekend, there was no group more impressive than the defensive backs. Bland led the way along with guys like Jordan Lewis, Kalen Carson, and Josh Butler. Each of those names could probably be on the list, but it's hard to deny what Bland has been doing. His ability to play the football has always been known, but now there's an added emphasis of preventing the big play and being a true shutdown corner. We'll see if the defensive back success continues when the pads come on and if CeeDee Lamb returns to practice. Cowboys trade pitch lands them former 13 TD running back. The Dallas Cowboys could use an upgrade at the running back position. Bleacher Report's Alex Ballentine wrote that Dallas should consider acquiring Houston Texans running back Dameon Pierce for a 6th-round selection in next year's draft. The argument is simple: an aging Ezekiel Elliott projects as the team's top running back, while Pierce would have to climb his way up the depth chart following the offseason acquisition of former Pro Bowl back Joe Mixon and veteran Cam Akers. The Texans don't seem to have Pierce in the plans after trading for Joe Mixon, signing Cam Akers and drafting Jahvar Jordan in the 6th round. Ballentine in a July 26 story on one trade each NFL team should consider before the 2024 season. The Cowboys could make a low-risk move by giving up a day 3 pick to give him a shot at winning a role in camp. The Cowboys failed to address their key need at running back following the departure of former Pro Bowl back Tony Pollard. Dallas instead signed veterans Elliott. He averaged just 3.5 yards per carry last season, and Royce Freeman, who has started just 1 game since the start of the 2019 season. Freeman also hasn't carried the ball more than 73 times in a single season since his rookie campaign back in 2018. Dallas also went through the entire 2024 NFL Draft without adding a running back and will instead return their trio of backup runners from last season, Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis, and Rico Dowdle. Pierce could be everything the Cowboys are looking for: young, injury-free, and cheap. The 24-year-old Pierce was a fourth-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, which means his salary isn't very high. The third-year running back is due to earn under $1 million in base salary this season and $1.1 million next season in salary as part of his rookie deal. While Pierce obviously struggled drastically in his sophomore campaign last season, he averaged 2.9 yards per carry, the lowest yards per carry average of the NFL's top 50 rushers. He showed promise during his rookie season, posting 939 rushing yards and 4.3 yards per carry as the Texans' lead back. If not for an ankle injury in Week 13 that ended his season prematurely, Pierce would have ended his rookie season with 1,000 rushing yards. Pierce also had a solid collegiate career with the Florida Gators, rushing for 13 touchdowns during his senior season in 2021. The Cowboys do not have a concrete plan of who will start at running back. Head coach Mike McCarthy previously indicated back in May that Dallas would utilize a running back by committee approach, but was optimistic about Elliott. "I think he'll definitely play at the level that he's played at in my time here, since 2020, McCarthy said. "I don't see any drop-off in the way he moves. He's in good shape. He has come in here and picked up right where he left off." Dallas could save themselves a major headache by acquiring Pierce and solving their running back conundrum. The Cowboys already have enough issues to worry about following Sam Williams' season-ending ACL injury and the contract issues of stars Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. 3 players the Cowboys could call to replace Sam Williams. The first weekend of Dallas Cowboys training camp did not go the way any of us probably hoped. If you haven't heard by now, Sam Williams tore his ACL and part of his MCL. The promising pass rusher was going to be a key player within the Cowboys' defensive line in 2024. He was participating in special teams drills when he went down. My first thought was, why was he part of that unit anyway? Williams was supposed to be a solid player on the defensive line under Mike Zimmer this season, so I just don't understand why he would be running with the special teams unit. Get the latest Cowboys updates from ITS delivered to your inbox daily. This team already has a depth problem after losing a handful of guys via free agency this offseason. They just can't seem to catch a break before a season starts. They lost both Trayvon Diggs and DeMarvion Overshown a year ago before the season started. Now they lose Williams, and that could mean increased reps for the younger guys, but I looked around and found some players that they could possibly bring in from the outside. The first player that came to mind was Carl Lawson. He is a guy who can get after the quarterback and is good enough to stop the run. Lawson has played a total of 73 games. During his career, he has tallied 27 sacks, 150 pressures, and 83 quarterback hits. His biggest flaw is staying on the field. He only played 6 games a year ago, and in 2021 he didn't play at all. Lawson has only played every game twice in his career, but he could be a helpful piece and might be worth the risk depending on what Jerry would spend, considering he won't even pay his top guys now. If he can prove he is healthy and give the Cowboys a good amount of snaps, he would probably be the cheapest out of the 3 I'll mention here. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Carl Lawson? Leave your opinion in the comments.